Okay, so I won't even try wasting time with some intro in this video because there will be a lot to talk about here. If there's a specific rotation you're looking for, use the timestamps that I hopefully didn't forget to put down. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Bianca Stigmata, which will be referred to as Balter from now on, is by no means an easy character to master due to how rotations are performed with Balter's 2-ult system, while trying to maximize the entire team's damage. This is why, through group research, testing with my guildmates, and my own experience of course, I decided to present 3 rotations optimal for any level of investment, which will be the 1.5, 2.5, and True Balter Solo, each of which will be time-stamped as mentioned prior. For those who don't know, I'll explain what a 0.5 is and how it works in-game. The best way to think about this is thinking of her ults as half of a rotation, her first ult being the first half of the rotation, and the second one completing the set. Basically, what you want to do is switch out after the second or third first ult on Balter. The reason is because QTs are very important, but you also don't want to spend time waiting for them before doing an action on a character like Rosetta. Especially when considering you want to be utilizing her leap, which essentially makes it possible to instantly ult when switched in. And if you do complete your rotation on Balter, you'd either be putting yourself in a choice where A, you'd reduce the potential damage you do on Balter's second ult, which is her main damage source, or B, naked ulting with Rosetta, which both really isn't an option. Which is why it's essential to switch out after the first ult so she doesn't hog all of the QTEs. Now, let's talk about the 1.5 rotation. The 1.5 rotation will be ideal for anyone at SS3 and below with Rosetta and Luminance built, and hopefully by now having at least Luminance leap. If not, this rotation probably won't work for you, and you'd probably be better off using the solo rotation later mentioned. First, we start off the rotation on Lumi. If your Luminance is SSS, you would start off by ulting instantly and then switching to Balter. If not, you just switch to Balter. From here, things are pretty normal. You'd activate your core passive, use your ult, build up your ult stacks until her QTEs and Matrix is available again, and then ult again. Keep in mind, you want to be activating QTEs as many times as possible in this rotation and the next half rotation by taking advantage of the Da Vinci reset. From here, you do the same thing. Activate core, ult, build up stats, but this time there will be a slight difference. As soon as your QTEs are available the second time around, you would switch to Rosetta and ult immediately, which should be possible if you did your Rosetta QTs about 4 times throughout this entire Balter rotation and have her leap available. If you don't have leap, you can just use her railgun as fast as possible. After, you would switch to Lumi and ult on her. Then you'll go on Balter and ult on her again, completing the cycle. From there, it's essentially doing the same thing over and over again. Of course, this will probably be changed a little in order to achieve a breakpoint in Warzone, which yeah, that is essentially the 1.5 Balter rotation. Moving on now to the 2.5 Balter rotation. As you guys probably already guessed by now, 2.5 Balter rotation is for anyone with SSS and above ranks on Balter. SS3 can do this too, albeit it's pretty awkward, but it can be done. Basically, we start off the same with the 1.5 Balter rotation. By using core, getting our stacks up, and ulting when our QTs are up again. But since we gain more energy than our lower rank counterparts, we can essentially force another unenhanced ult by doing a quick 3 ping and pressing ult once again. From there we do the same thing. We build up core until the QTs arrive, and then complete ult once again. Then lastly, we finish the rotation by using core once again, using ult, building up the stacks until QTs are up again, and then switching to Rosetta. From there, it's the same thing as the 1.5 rotation. You ult on Rosetta as soon as you're on the field, you switch to Lumi, you ult, you switch to Balter, and then finish off for a second ult, then rinse and repeat. Pretty easy. While we're talking about the triple S rotation, even though I'm pretty against using bugs in competitive game modes, I'd like to bring to your attention something that only they can do, which is something we like to call helicoptering. Basically, you're just staying in the air during sword wave more than twice by holding and timing your release on your basic attack. The reason why I recommend learning it is due to the fact that it's just really helpful with no downsides whatsoever. For starters, sword wave does more damage than regular basic attacks. You gain more stacks from this when you're in unenhanced ult, and you look like just some major fucking tryhard when you pull this off. And the entire thing counts as an iframe, so you literally just can't take damage. That being said, I won't try to teach you this just cause it varies from person to person since it involves timing to pull it all off. However, I did enable screen taps being shown so you guys can just see where I release and hold my basic attacks just so you guys can get an idea. That being said, let's move on to the final rotation. The Solo Balter rotation can be done by virtually any rank. It is basically the rotation for your investment, but you just don't switch. This works almost as well as the previous two in almost any given scenario, and can beat it in some cases as well. That being said, I won't get into too much detail of how it should be done since I normally don't play it as much. Instead, I recommend watching Not Risu for a better demonstration of how it should be done, since they're one of, if not the best Solo Balter players global has. Anyway, let's look at a rotation to fully grasp how this rotation can vary. Since I have a triple S Balter, I'll be doing the 2.5 Balter rotation. Wave 4 here can die to Rosetta QT and Balter ult, so it's basing my QT around that. Killing wave 6 in one rotation is essential to my run, so I save DB for wave 6 and helicopter wave 5. Since I use Rosetta QTs 4 times, I can use her ult on switch. As you can see, Rosetta is a garbage character, so she couldn't kill wave 8 on her own. So Lumi has to finish off the wave, but from here it's just literally the same rotation. Just keep note on how I use QTEs to cover each wave, and how it's usually just repetition at this point.